Hey, welcome back everyone, Jayborino here, continuing Legacy of the Void. It's weird, I watched just bits and pieces of my older videos here of Legacy of the Void, and I started like, hey everybody, I'm Jayborino, because it was like 4 a.m., so now I have a bit more energy. So this episode is going to be a bit shorter. I'm going to do a bit of an interlude. I'm going to talk to everybody on the spear, then I'm going to go to Aiur, and then talk to everyone on the spear again. So we're basically doing double dialogue, and I'd rather not start an episode off with just that, so I'm just going to make it a short interlude episode.
Indecision is weakness. Do not examine. Act.
You would say that, Alarak.
Such hubris. To think that they could control what they did not understand. Oh, it's always hubris with the Terrans. Get too close to a black hole, and it will crush you.
We once thought the same of the Tal'Darim, Alarak. We believed you mindless and obedient slaves.
And we thought you were weak, impure, and unworthy. And yet now we stand together.
Perhaps we acted too rashly with Mobius Core. There may have been a different way.
Oh, Templar, is there ever a moment when your people do not doubt themselves? No, Artanis. Extermination was the only course. The hybrid leave nothing to save.
That's interesting, Alarak. Maybe if we would have taken that route with you when you came and asked us for help, where would you be now? Interesting.
The Golden Armada has devastated the sector, Artanis. I know we cannot engage them directly, but this must not continue.
Rohana, before you freed yourself from the Kala's grip, did you see anything else?
Yes, I saw Amon's end. As the Firstborn created the Kala, the Xel'Naga were disturbed from their slumber. They felt an absence within the void itself. They discovered Amon and his followers at Xeris, and a war among the gods erupted. Amon unleashed the Swarm.
And the Swarm consumed the Xel'Naga.
Only a fraction remained within Ulnar. In the final confrontation, Amon was felled, but he was not defeated. He returned to the void, twisting it with his hatred. His servant, Narud, machinated for eons, seeking a body to sustain his master.
The hybrid.
A stepping stone towards the host body he now forges upon Aiur. His plan is almost complete.
We are still here, Rohana, and he can be defeated again.
You know, that's an interesting little explanation of retcon, because in Heart of the Swarm, everyone complained, oh, it's a retcon, you know, Amon didn't create the Zerg, the Xel'Naga did, and then the Zerg went up and destroyed them. But in this retcon of the retcon to explain it, Amon created the Zerg and then sent the Zerg after the Xel'Naga instead. So that kind of rounds it out again. Some people might not be happy with that, but I'm pleased that they did at least make an effort to go into more detail. What else do we have here that is new?
Capital ships have docked within the Spear of ADUN. They await your preference.
Oh, what else do we have here? Oh, Tempests.
Valor is eternal.
I don't know. I like carriers. Well, ooh, these have disintegration, though. 500 damage over 20 seconds is so good for, like, buildings and things like that. Carriers, though, what are these repair drones? Oh, yeah, we gotta stick with carriers. They can repair themselves and other mechanical units, so we just get a bunch of Colossi with carriers and, theoretically, Dragoons, and the carriers can repair them. That's crazy good. I mean, it looks like it's a pretty slow heal, but still. They're not energy-based. They just constantly heal. Yeah, we're going to stick with carriers, sorry. And then...
The legendary Arbiter vessels have been reconstructed due to our great need. They can be deployed at your discretion.
Oh, Arbiters.
We feel your presence.
All right, they've got Stasis Field. Oh, we feel your presence. Yeah, I feel your presence, Arbiter. You know what I'm saying. Mass Recall. Let's watch it do its thing. Stasis. Oh, and then it recalls on top of them. That's real cool. How long does Stasis last, though? Pretty long, just like before. I do like the cloaking field, but I feel like with the enemy attacks, they tend to send like groups of 6 to 8 scouts or something like that. Lots and lots of Wraiths and Vikings. While I do really like the idea of the Arbiter, and I love Arbiters, I feel like they would just get smoked immediately. Even though the enemy generally doesn't have any sort of detection, the Arbiter would get destroyed so fast. So I'm going to stick with the Destroyer. I really like these things. So I'm going to stick with them, but I love that an Arbiter is available, and for your own playthrough, you know, obviously feel free to do something else. Okay, Solar Core.
The deeds of a Templar suit you, Karax.
For the entirety of my life, I have given myself to the art of creation. My my war has been one of design, a battle against obstacles that hinder optimization. I am a faithsmith, and will always be my first calling. But as times change, those who were not born true Templar can become so through their deeds.
Then ready yourself, Templar. You will be needed.
I quite liked the end of the last mission with Karax. It just showed the semi-elimination of the caste system that the Kalai have been using, which, again, it just shows more of a unification within the Protoss, you know, with the Tal'Darim, the removal of the caste system, the Dark Templar, the Purifiers, all that kind of stuff.
Hierarch, the Purifiers are impressed with your leadership. They clamor to strike at the heart of Amon.
Friend Phoenix, they are impressed equally with yours.
Yes, they have chosen to follow my command. Leadership is new for me, as is everything else.
I had not intended to become Hierarch. I questioned the decision. There had to be someone more worthy. Do not fall into the same mental traps I did, my friend. The Purifiers follow you for a reason, as the Dalam now follow me. Self-doubt will only cloud your decision-making.
You speak truth, Hierarch. You speak as a leader.
Yeah, I mean, Artanis also has those sweet baby blue eyes. That's why people really like him, you know? Alright, I don't think there's anything I want to change here. I'm looking forward to maybe getting Time Stop, but I think of it this way. Time Stop is great when I'm pushing into attack, but at the same time I've got Temporal Field. Time Stop, though, you'd think, oh, well, you know, if you get attacked by a big force, but Purifier Beam would also work in that situation, and it doesn't cost any Solarite, so I'm going to hold on to it and hopefully be able to bump up to maybe Warping Reinforcements eventually, or perhaps Reconstruction Beam. Or maybe eventually the Solar Bombardment. Either way, we got to save some Solarite. We're almost exactly to... I'd assume maybe we get a little bit more Solarite to bump up what we've got. We'll see. I'm going to keep all my auxiliary systems full as well. And let's go ahead and travel. And like I said, I'm going to travel to Aiur and talk to everyone again. So this is going to be like an interlude episode, so you can hear what everyone has to say.
So many lost. So much destruction. But there is a glimmer of hope. We will destroy Amon's host body and cast him from the Kala. The Templar shall make our final stand for Aiur.
You know what's quite interesting about this campaign? It suffers from what I like to call Mass Effect syndrome, where all the side stories are very, very well done, but the main story isn't great. In my opinion, like all three Mass Effect games, the main villain, it's really not a big deal, but all the side missions and character developments are very, very well written and done, and that's how I feel so far about this campaign.
Brothers, sisters, the time has come for our attack.
Oh, well, this is truly a miracle.
Rohana has used her connection to the Kala to reveal Amon's plan. He forges a hybrid body to indwell, and exists within it and the Kala. But he remains vulnerable until this form is complete. He must call upon the Golden Armada for defense.
There is still a way to prevent them from warping to Aiur, by dismantling the warp network's power structures.
That would grant us the time we need to destroy Amon's hybrid form. Clever.
Once he only has the Templar to inhabit, we unleash the Keystone, removing Amon from the Kala.
It will not contain him for long.
No, but long enough for our people to sever their connection to the Kala and thrust him back into the void.
His optimism is dangerous. We could destroy them all from orbit, and not waste such time. How dare you suggest the destruction of our people?
I will not accept that, Alarak. What we face is a true horror, but we must endure it. Ready yourselves. The final confrontation is upon us, and we will meet it head-on.
Sweet deal. So we're back to Aiur. This is so cool. If you look, we've got the Purifiers, we've got the Dalam Protoss here, and we've got the Tal'Darim. Very, very cool how you can see everybody's unified now and we're ready to strike back on Aiur.
Your people are lost, Artanis. I know you desire to save them, but it will not be done. focus should be on Amon's destruction alone.
By destroying Amon's body, then liberating my people from the Kala, he will be thrust back into the void. It is a victory we can achieve.
It is a folly and a risk we do not need to incur. We should eradicate the Protoss, burn the entire world and all on it.
No, Alarak. If we may save my people, it will be done. Do not defy me on this.
Of course, I only counsel wisdom. If you do not wish to hear it, I will say no more.
I quite like Alarak. I liked him from the beginning, but he was crazy. He's still crazy, but I guess I like him even more than I used to.
I welcome you, Hierarch.
Thank you.
Aiur, some of my people are seeing it for the first time. They were born on Shakuras and have only heard tales of our homeland.
They will see much more of it, now that the power of the Keystone is within our grasp. Zeratul spoke truly. It has ushered us unto hope.
Yes, though not as we initially suspected.
Still, his tireless devotion brought us this chance. I will forever honor him for that.
As shall I.
The psionic matrix was first sparked 3,000 years ago. It is strange. Such a joyous event, and I only know of it from what has been recorded in history. I do not feel the memory. I cannot tell you of the joy the Protoss felt as the first pulse charged the psi matrix, or the rush of thoughts that cascaded through the Kala and the minds of the proud Kalai.
And yet, we know all that we need to about these times, Rohana.
Yes. You must understand, though, to have so little of experience to recall it, my account is capable of flaws, of imperfection.
Perhaps this is how our histories should be viewed after all, without certainty, only seen through the era one lives in.
That's good advice. I mean, history is always 2020, but I don't know. I really do like the growth of Rohana's character, and she eventually cut her nerve cord and all that kind of stuff. It's neat. All these characters are really, really neat. They took the time. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot. That's why I'm doing an interlude episode here. There's so much dialogue, but it grows these characters way more than Heart of the Swarm. Way more. Exponentially more. And that's why I think a lot of people didn't like Heart of the Swarm. Those characters were bland. There was no growth and there was no interest. Nobody cared about those characters, but I actually genuinely care about some of these characters.
Could you review this tactical layout? I want to be sure I'm seeing all the angles.
It would be my pleasure, Matriarch.
Ah, look at these two getting along. Solar Core. Everyone wants to chat with me.
The Keystone is reacting to void energies on the surface of Aiur. But this scale, it can only be...
Amon. How long until the Keystone is ready?
I do not know. It has only been used like this once before. The Keystone shows clear evidence of tampering, likely by this Interlude creature mentioned in the Terran engineer Swan's report. It was adapted to drain the void energies within Kerrigan and store them until they could be redistributed to revive Amon. The foundation is there, but it was never intended to house the full energies of a Xel'Naga.
You will find a way, Karax. If there is one thing I have learned, you will not rest until you have found your result. I have faith in that.
Thank you, Hierarch. But this will prove difficult. The Keystone was intended to be a vessel, not a prison.
Artanis says, hey man, don't fuck this up.
I have such tangible memories of Aiur. I can still feel the warm breezes of Aldera, its hot sunlight filling my every pore.
The Praetor Council took me to Aldera as a youngling too. It is there where I ignited my first Psyblade.
Phoenix as well. It was the proudest moment of his life. He felt such purpose, such surety of his existence. I look forward to seeing this place he so loved for the first time.
Those memories you hold, they are of another place. That world is no more.
Then we shall build a better one on top of it.
Oh, I love that attitude, Phoenix. Just like the old Phoenix. We don't have anything extra here, so there's nothing to do. Alrighty, let's head back to the bridge. Again, this is a short episode. I want to do all this dialogue before we head into the mission, because I left a lot. at the end of the last one. So consider this an interlude into Aiur. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye now.